And we're back. This is Paul with SO Cruising and Chris DeBonis with GoLuxuryCruiser.com. We are discussing the Norwegian ship, the Joy. Chris, good afternoon. How are you today?
How we doing? How we doing? I'm psyched to talk about the Joy. It's one of my favorite ships. She's got kind of an interesting story, so I will get into that in a little bit.
Excellent. Let's go over some facts about the ship so everybody's on board. It is on the breakaway class. It was launched in 2017. It holds 1,700 crew members, 3,800 passengers when it's full. And this, Chris, this one seems to be more geared towards families, despite the fact that it has a bigger casino, of course. But it does have more connected rooms and more family suites than other Norwegian ships. It does have 29 restaurants now. They added a couple more, and 9 of them are complimentary. The other 20 you got to pay to go on. And the big one, the big thing that a lot of people are interested in that separates this ship from other cruise ships around is it has a 2-level go-kart track. Like, you're out on a cruise ship and you're on a 2-level go-kart track. That just can't even be real. But hey, listen, who am I to tell cruises what they're supposed to do? It's crazy stuff. So Chris is with GoLuxuryCruiser.com. We're here today to give you some inside secrets on the ships. Chris, you have been on a couple of cruises, I do believe. The last time we were keeping track, it was somewhere in the high 60s. Is that correct?
Well, well, the amount of cruises I've been on, I spent 10 years at sea on ships. So
yes,
I've been
my
on
era.
67, I've been on 67 different ships, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's
Right.
more. I don't even, I get to the point now where it's, I go on and it's, another one.
Another one, yeah. And so you spend all your time on the ships, and now you work as a travel advisor, helping
Yep.
people out with information like this. So if someone was interested in the Norwegian Joy, of course, they would call you. We'll give you all that information, folks. Don't worry about that. But Chris, let's talk about the Norwegian Joy. Have you been on this one?
Yeah, actually, I rode on that go-kart track that you're talking about.
Very
We
cool.
had dinner. I have not sailed on her, but she was down in Miami, and we all went on board and enjoyed some dinner and got to ride the go-kart tracks, which I'm going to tell you, I was like, okay, Norwegian, let's do go-karts. Why not? What
Why
else
not?
can we put on ships? But I mean, actually, it's really fun. And on the Getaway and the other class of ships that have the go-karts, very, very popular, because
Sure.
sea days, especially for families, everyone's looking for stuff to do. And now this ship 100% delivers. Little background about the Joy. She actually started out for the Asian market. She was called the Joy, and she was stationed out of China, and she was over there. That didn't work out as well as they thought, so they actually repurposed her for the North American clientele,
Okay.
and now she's going to be doing Mexican Riviera and Alaska. But she is fantastic.
Now, this is
Great
one of their
room.
newest ships, so of course they're
Yeah.
going to have all the bells and whistles that they can
Mhm.
put on them. When it comes to booking on the ships, of course, let's give people one secret to booking on. Like, when we talk about one of the big royal ships, you always say book on the outside balcony, not the inside balcony, because it's too loud and it's too warm on the
Right.
inside, not the outside. On the Norwegian Joy, is there something that people should be looking for? Something that that someone who's booking on it wish they knew before they booked?
With Norwegian, I'm always going to say, save your pennies a little bit more and get yourself into the Haven, which is the uh, suite level, but it's more about the value you get by booking into there
Okay.
is fantastic. Like, you go in there and there's a ton of perks that we get into getting in there. Best part is all of the things you love about ships: sitting by the pool, having access to everything. And what's nice about the Haven is there's so many great things, but one thing that everyone always talks about is you have your own chairs by the Haven pool. So
Well,
there's
that's a
no
big difference.
yeah.
When you're out on the ship and Yeah, sometimes you got to get out there at 8 o'clock in the morning and you put two towels down and leave a book you don't care about on across two chairs, because if you don't, someone's going to take it.
Absolutely.
You get up to do something, you come back and someone's there, and you're not. We're adults now, so we're not going to get in fights at the pool. So you just kind of have to roll your eyes and think, oh, people, and you move on. So you're saying in the Haven, you actually, your chair is your chair and no one's taking that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for the
All
most
right
part,
then.
because in the Haven, everybody has butlers, everybody has people doing things for them, and I know when I say the Haven, I say butlers, and I say suites, everybody goes, "Oh, it's a lot of money."
Right.
Really, when you add in all of the perks you get for the Haven and all of the extra things you get, value-wise per day, it's about the same.
Okay.
But and the best thing too, one of the other great things about the Haven is they have their own restaurant. So you don't eat in the main dining room. You have your own dining room that you eat in, which is the equivalent of eating in Cagney's, which is the steakhouse. So you're getting specialty dining level food, and you're getting your own area and your own, there's no pass through, only the people in the Haven can be in there. And the other thing, when you want to talk about value,
Yep.
is there are 2-bedroom and even 3-bedroom suites. So when I have families of 5, 6, 7, 8 people, they
Right.
say, well, I want to book 6 balcony rooms. Okay, well, that's going to cost this amount of money. Or you can book this 3-bedroom, and it's going to cost, a lot for the first 2, but everyone else after that, it's minimal. And everybody gets suite privileges. Everybody gets all the extra. And one of the other things too, you asked me about secret. When you go to the shows, you have reserved seating.
Well, there's not much better than that.
Yeah.
Having knowing
Especially
that
with the
shows
Norwegian level shows. Yeah.
right, yeah, and knowing that the show's at 7:30, and getting there at 5:15, because you don't want to be uh, in the balcony in the corner, because this is the big show and it's the C day, right? Because everyone's going now.
Yeah.
So you end up doing that. So that actually would work out well for a lot of families who are showing up with their 3 kids and
Mm-hmm.
the mother and father-in-law, and they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking to themselves, "Boy, this is going to cost us this." Well, if you book it this way instead, then they'll actually end up possibly saving money, if not being right around the same area, but having way more perks. And that now
Yeah.
is that across all Norwegian ships, or is this specific to the Joy?
The Haven level is available on all ships. The older Norwegian ships don't have the separated Haven area, but
Okay.
they have suites that are Haven class. So you don't, but on the newer ships, they all have their own area. And the other thing too, and you're going to love this, Paulie, because I know you don't like standing in line.
I don't stand in line.
When you are a suite guest or a Haven guest, you go to a private waiting area and you wait to go on, and you have expedited boarding.
All right, that's for me, because I just flat out it's just one of those things. I hate standing in line. Like I will barely stand in line for anything. It's
Exactly.
just not for me. So that sounds pretty fantastic. And Chris, if somebody were interested in going on this,
Mm-hmm.
they could obviously they could just give you a call. They can email you at chris@goluxurycruiser.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a great way for people to hear more about it and find out what options that they have on the Norwegian Joy or other Norwegian ships, or really any ships out there that are available for booking. Let's just give people a quick background, Chris, of Go Luxury Cruises, so they know when they're calling you, who they're calling, and why.
Okay. We are a sort of a boutique travel agency. I tend to deal with, I don't have tons of clients because the level of service we provide is pretty much soup to nuts. So we take care of everything, picking you up at the airport, all of that. From there, picking you up at the airport, bringing you to the ship, or bringing you to the hotel, or whatever it is that you have to do, we take care of that 100%. We have one of the things the clients like the most about me is my connections on board the cruise ships. I still have tons of friends that work on board. So if I need something, a lot of times I can pick up the phone and not call the cruise line. I'm calling the ship. Hey, can you run down to cabin 235 and bring my people a bottle of champagne? Thanks a lot.
Very
and it's,
nice.
hey, so it's a cool background to have because it gives me access to a lot of those that back of the house stuff that most agents don't have a lot of experience with. They have to go through the cruise line. Sometimes I can help, and that helps me advocate for my clients, especially in this last crazy situation. I had clients stuck on board, and I was able to help them get accommodations they might not have normally been able to get because I'm calling my guy that I know from
Right.
back
And the
in the
people
day.
that you worked with are still on the ship, so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you're just
I
as
still have
competent.
friends sitting on ships right now. I can look
Very
outside and see them sailing by, and but the other thing I was going to say about the Joy, and this goes right along with your 80s and forever stuff, is guess what shows on board the Joy? Did you look it up?
I haven't yet.
It is Footloose,
Gotta love it.
and
And
it is
these are
fan.
also Broadway class shows, right?
Yeah, no. The show is the show you would see on Broadway. It's not an excerpt. It's not just a couple that Norwegian have. They have Rock of Ages, which is a great musical. They have Jersey Boys, which
Yep.
in my opinion is one of the best musicals I've ever seen.
Of course, you're gonna.
Um, yeah, they have Legally Blonde, which I have not seen, which I was weird about, but I've heard it's fantastic.
I bet it is. I probably
I
will
think
never.
of the movie and I go, how do you put that to music? But apparently they did it, and it's awesome.
And all
So
these
they have,
shows are on the ships. You can go for those who
yeah,
haven't been on a major cruise line, who are thinking now of, geez, I wonder which one I'm going to book. If they're thinking of the Norwegian Joy, they go on the ship, and that's included. That they don't have to
yeah.
pay extra for the tickets to that, and that's
There
fantastic.
are some shows you pay for. There's I'm not sure if it's on the Joy. I'd have to research that. I'm pretty sure it is, but um, there's on some of the ships there's a Cirque show, which is like a Cirque du Soleil show, and that's a dinner show. So that's like going
I
to a
love Sir.
specialty restaurant, but you see, yeah. Norwegian's level of entertainment is amazing. I'll give you a quick. When I was working on the Spirit, the Norwegian Spirit, which in my opinion is a charming little ship, but it's by no means like the biggest and baddest ship. It's actually one of their older ships. However, I remember when I first went to see a show called Cirque Bijou, which is still showing on Norwegian. The start of the show was people tumbling from the ceiling on ropes and swinging around above you,
What else
and
would
just
they do?
this amazing show. And you just sit there like, yeah, I mean, you're like, I'm on a cruise ship, and I'm
Right.
seeing a show that would cost me $200 to be sitting where I'm sitting right now, and I'm seeing
Right.
this
You're
amazing.
you're there with your husband or your wife and your kids, and you're thinking to yourself, well, just the tickets to this show would have cost what I paid to get that one on the ship. And
Yeah,
that sort of added benefit that a lot of people forget when they talk about going on cruises. They say, well, well, the food is free and the weather's nice and you get to see some places, but there's so much more to being on any cruise ship than that. And you can of course help people with that at Go Luxury Cruiser.
yeah,
Now, if people were to email you at chris@goluxurycruiser.com, they can reach out to you and just ask you questions about the ships. You can help them out with that as well.
course. Of course, yeah. I mean, the biggest part of being a travel advisor is not just the ship, not it's matching you to what you like. Like Paul, I tried for a long time to match you, and you were like, no, I can do it on my own. I can go online, and the thing is the nice thing about a travel advisor, well, dare I say, a good travel advisor, is we know the ships. And I spend a long time getting to know the people I'm dealing with, because otherwise, if I don't know what you like, I don't know. Like if I go on about a free drink package, and I can tell you this has happened to agents of mine. They talk about, oh my gosh, this is a great cruise line. And you get free drinks, free drinks, free drinks, martinis, martinis, martinis. And then the guy goes, I'm recovering alcoholic.
Yeah. So that
That
entire pit
conversation
and all
comes
that
to a
money is worth
complete
nothing to this guy.
yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, the person that doesn't drink doesn't want to hear about free drinks because they're like, well, if everybody's getting free drinks, then I'm paying for everybody to drink in my fare.
Right. What do I get
Yeah,
in that respect?
exactly.
So
And
yeah,
that's
so
part
if
of
you get to know each one of your clients, and
exactly.
like you said, you have plenty of them. Don't be modest. You have plenty of clients, but your level of service has been to the point where you've taken the time to get to know them. I've known you for the past 30 years, and you're not a punch in at 9, punch out at 5 type of guy. You're work until the job gets done, type of person in general. And so that's sort of what's brought you to where you are today. And I know that if you work 10 years on ships, there's no such thing as 9 to 5. It doesn't
No,
exist. It's morning and evening and afternoon and middle of the
7 days
night.
a week for 6 months.
Good luck to that. So we can I'll put the link at the bottom of the
Oh, okay.
this video.
Like down there.
Right about there. And we'll have that and your email address as well, which just flashed
Cool.
on the screen. And we'll have people be able to reach out to you about the Norwegian Joy. And let's just go over one thing real quick before we wrap this
Sure.
one up. Do you know where the Joy is sailing these days?
Oh yeah, great question that I didn't even bring up. The Joy will be in Alaska, which is great. A beautiful piece of hardware to have up in Alaska. And Alaska's really going to be the big cruising comeback. So you're going to see a lot of emphasis on Alaska. And so they put a really beautiful ship up there. Also, she'll be doing the Mexican Riviera. That'll be right before the Alaska season. So your Caribbean season,
Right.
she's going to be up and down the West Coast, which is nice because a lot of my people, there's not a lot of options for them. It's all about the Caribbean. So now they get up and down the coast. And a couple of things about the Joy. Fantastic restaurants. One of my favorite, if you go on any Norwegian ship, but the Joy's got a great one, is the teppanyaki bar. Sorry,
Okay.
the restaurant where it's like Benihana's, not to give them a plug, but it's like fantastic. Best $30 you'll spend to get a meal that would be $150 anywhere else. They've got laser tag. They've got escape rooms. You are never going to be bored on this ship, ever. Even if you don't I know people that go on board these ships now and they don't even go ashore. They're like, I have everything I want on this ship. It's like a floating resort. Why do I need to go ashore? I would say go
especially
ashore.
people who have been to the islands many times,
Mm-hmm.
been to the area so many times. It's not about going to St. Martin again, and not to sound hoity and not to sound all full of myself and all that, but honestly, I'm sick of St. Martin. I've been there so many times. It's fun. It's a tropical island. So is everything else. And unless they bring in some new stuff, I'm not getting off the ship there. So I want to be on a nice ship. I want to be on a
The
place.
goats aren't doing it for you anymore?
There's just not all that much today. And the last time I was in St. Martin, a real aside, I was on a horseback, and we were going horseback, and we were on the beach and climbing the hill.
Oh, that's cool.
And my horse decided that it wasn't so impressed by me, I guess. I don't know exactly what it was thinking. But we're walking up the side of this cliff, and all of a sudden my horse just decides to take a right turn. And he's just walking towards the cliff. And I'm pulling back, and I'm just looking around, and everyone's going, and I'm headed off the cliff. And, in my horror, all I had to muster out, I just yelled at the top of my lungs, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." And the horse stops at the very edge, took 2 steps back, and then got back in line. And I know he was doing that intentionally. I know he knew that I was going to have a heart attack. And that horse scared the life out of me. And I'll never forget it. Oh my God, I'm going to die. So that's me on St. Martin. But on the ships, you can stay on these ships because there is so much to do. And as an aside, more tips and secrets, which is one of the reasons why we're here. Oftentimes during port days, if you stay on the ship, there's a lot of discounts that come around as well. I've been on ships where it's 50% at the spa. So instead of spending $700 for a hot stone massage, it's only $350. Great. There are other things that go on when everyone else is off because they still want to make money on the ship also. So unless you're at one of the places that you haven't been or you haven't been 100 times, staying on the ship, there's also stuff to do, and that seems to be the same with the Norwegian Joy. And we'll have people get in touch with you, Chris, to book this one, whether it's on the Mexican Riviera or in Alaska. For those of you who haven't been on an Alaskan cruise yet, that's a lot
Speaking
different.
of that, Paul, you haven't done an Alaska trip yet. We got to get you up there.
The thing that we need to do is have people watch our Alaskan cruise video, which will be in the description box. Just look for that on the playlist here on the SO Cruising website, Facebook page, and the SO Cruising Yahoo page as well. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. This is Chris with Go Luxury Cruising. I'm sorry, Chris, I always make a mistake. Go Luxury Cruiser. .com. I am Paul with SO Cruising, and we will catch you next time here with more tips and secrets and information about cruising on this beautiful planet of ours. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.